Now at 11, in-person learning is back at Portland schools next fall, but remote school will likely stay an option. A step closer to fully reopening. In about an hour, Oregon's largest county moves into low risk for good. Oregon's vaccine passport policy is getting a lot of pushback. Now some people are willing to take the governor to court.
The message is very clear. She needs to rescind the order immediately.
Plus, a Portland radio station works to diversify its airwaves and give opportunities to artists who feel like outliers in their field. The news starts now. Thank you for joining us for KGW News at 11 tonight. I'm Laurel Porter. As of tomorrow, Multnomah County will leave the restrictions of high risk behind. It moves into lower risk rules because 65% of adults have at least one COVID shot. Restaurants can have 50% capacity inside and out with no upper limit on the number of people. And that's a big change from the current restriction of 25% capacity or 50 people, whichever was less. Indoor recreation like gyms, plus theaters and concert halls can all reopen at 50% capacity. And retail stores held at 50% capacity under high-risk restrictions will be allowed to reach 75% of their maximum occupancy. Multnomah County is still recommending mask use indoors. Today, our Pat Doris asked the county's public health director, will that really make a difference?
I would not recommend something like this if I didn't think it made a difference. We have seen physical distancing and face covers and masks play an absolutely crucial role leading up to the vaccinations.
But if it's people who are fully vaccinated who are not wearing masks, what difference would that make if they are wearing a mask?
It's more about trying to determine who's vaccinated and who's not in an indoor setting.
Here's a look at where counties across the state stand on reopening. It shows high-risk counties in the orange, moderate in yellow, and low-risk in green. It looks like there will be a return to full-time, in-person learning at Portland Public Schools this fall. The idea has full support from the board, which approved it unanimously. But students who might not be ready to head back to the classroom are in luck. KGW's Mike Benner reports there will still be a remote learning option in the fall.
All in favor, please indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
The virtual vote Tuesday night was unanimous. Full-time, in-person learning will return to Portland Public Schools in the fall, barring any surprises.
I certainly hope it looks exactly like normal school. That would be the best outcome, as we move forward. But there are a lot of things outside of the district's control.
A return to full-time in-person learning in a matter of months is not terribly surprising. What may be surprising is what Superintendent Guadalupe Guerrero revealed as part of the plan.
We have a team of staff developing a virtual school option model for families, for students who have very real reasons for not being able to come back to school quite yet.
You heard right. Distance learning will be an option. The superintendent saying the details are still being worked out, so stay tuned. What we don't need to wait for is reaction. First, from Elizabeth Teal, the president of the Portland Association of Teachers.
We know that there continue to be students and families who are not able to get vaccinated or are high at risk of COVID. And so I think it makes a lot of sense. I think there's a lot of opportunity to do it in a way that works well and builds off of everything we've learned.
I think they should have a remote option.
Eric Happel is with ED300, a group that's been working tirelessly to reopen schools. He thinks there is a place for online learning, and it's through the Oregon Charter Academy, not necessarily PPS.
I'm not clear why PPS wants to use its funding for that when there is another option in Oregon. There may be a good reason for that, but that isn't clear to me why we wouldn't use the option that already exists here.
That much is unclear. What is clear is that school as we knew it pre-pandemic, at least something very close to it, is becoming more realistic by the day.
I'm very confident that we're going to be able to reopen, but what that looks like may differ a little bit depending on what the situation looks like in the fall.
In Portland, Mike Benner for KGW News.
A father-son duo from Battleground are facing federal charges for entering the U.S. Capitol during the January 6th riot. Today, 37-year-old Jeremy Grace was taken into custody. His father, Jeff Grace, was arrested 3 months ago. In an interview with KGW, Jeff Grace admitted he went into the Capitol Rotunda. The battleground man said he and his son had been separated after a pro-Trump rally. According to the FBI, that wasn't the case. Photos and videos show the father and son posing together inside the rotunda during the Capitol incursion. That's according to court documents. Police are investigating a mass shooting in Northern California today. A gunman shot and killed 8 people before taking his own life. It happened early this morning at a rail yard in San Jose. The victims and gunman were found dead when officers got there. Police feared explosive devices may have been inside a nearby building, but no word yet on whether the bomb squad found anything during the search. The gunman was identified as Samuel Cassidy, an employee at the rail yard. Police don't have any clues about a motive at this point. Not far from the shooting scene, firefighters found Cassidy's home up in flames. Police believe he set it on fire just before the shooting started. Some Portland businesses were left repairing windows and cleaning up graffiti again today after last night's riot downtown. Police declared a riot after people started smashing windows at City Hall, but the destruction continued through downtown at businesses big and small. Pinkham's Millinery had its windows smashed, and people broke the door at Ta Bags and Adorn. After an already draining year, the owners want to know why someone would hurt a small business owner.
It's disheartening. It's like a crushing blow when you're already struggling.
Yeah, it's hard. Folks already don't want to come downtown. They don't want to come down here.
I'm already worried that I'd even make it through this year, and this definitely sets me back quite a bit. So I'm mentally preparing for the possibility of having to close.
Police arrested 5 people in last night's riot. All were at least charged with criminal mischief, and 1 was charged with arson. An Oregon family needs your help to find their dad, missing now for more than a week. 76-year-old Ralph Brown was last seen Sunday, May 16th. Today, his family and friends spoke out. They say new sightings are giving them hope, but they need your help to bring him home. Brown is the former Cornelius mayor, a teacher, and is heavily involved in the community. He struggles with dementia and left in a state of confusion. His family last saw him leaving his home near the 600 block of South 12th Avenue in Cornelius. Brown's daughter, Lori, was able to get a hold of him on the phone around 9 o'clock that night, but they haven't heard from him since.
I said, "Where are you, Dad?" And he said, "Well, are you out looking for me?" And I said, "Yeah, we are out looking for you. Where are you?" And he said, "Well, I'm in the bushes. I'm literally in the bushes."
Before his phone died, police were able to trace it to the area of Newburgh, Lafayette, and McMinnville. There have been a few possible sightings, but none have been confirmed to be Ralph Brown. A ranger believes he spotted Brown at the northern trailhead of Silver Creek Falls. People are out looking for him across the region from Washington County to the Oregon coast. He's from Astoria, and family believes he could have been trying to get back there. Brown's about 5'10", 210 pounds, with gray hair and blue eyes, and he's missing the tip of his right index finger. He was driving his 2014 blue Nissan Sentra with this Oregon license plate 319KQV. If you see Brown, call the Washington County Sheriff's Office. And if you want to help in the search, we have more information at kgw.com. 4 years ago tonight, 2 men were killed in a brutal stabbing attack on a MAX train in Northeast Portland. Today, people visited a memorial at the Hollywood Transit Center to remember the victims. Jeremy Christian killed Talisha Namkai Meche and Ricky Best and badly wounded Micah Fletcher. Christian had been spewing racist threats at 2 teenage girls on the train, both black, one wearing a hijab, when the 3 men stepped in to defend them. Namkai Meche's mother, Asha Deliverance, returned today to the place where her son died 4 years ago. She brought flowers and stickers that say, "We choose love."
I bring roses because, you know, whenever there's a traumatic situation, change the picture. And flower power is where it's at. You know, you just surround, that's why people bring flowers to memorials. Flowers just are a symbol of joy and happiness and eternal life. Flowers bloom eternally.
After a lengthy trial last year, Christian was sentenced to life in prison.